Not gonna waste your time like all the nutrition gurus on YouTube who just say some facts and some wishy-washy shit, and at the end of the video your life isn't different. I try to do my best that this video is not like that. So if staying energized in your high productivity has been a huge goal for you, then this is the video that will mark a new chapter in your life, where you're armed with the information and make the best choice for yourself in your energy management. But only if you do one thing. Don't get distracted. Just say it in your brain right now that you're gonna focus on this video as fast as you can. And as soon as you get distracted, just refocus again. Right? So, my journey of stimulants consumption. At the age of 8 or 9, I was introduced to the virtual stimulant of porn that stayed there for a very long time. And after that, smoking was added too at 9 years old, where I tried some just by asking the bigger guys for a smoke with my friends. And not doing much, only sometimes in summer, and later a little bit in high school too, just to try to look cool and try to blend in with the cool guys, which which just failed. I didn't get any popular at high school with the help of smoking with the cool guys. And also drinking at the age of 14 to 15 began with the light beer, with the parties with friends occasionally, but not that bad consumption. Also later in clubbing, where we tried to seduce chicks like my older friends did, but just by buying them drinks and getting to interact with her and dance with her and so on. I brought home 0 chicks, so I also did not like the drink since it was a source of conflict in our family. So coffee was introduced as a tasty, warm, uplifting morning and evening drink at 15 or 16 years of age that stayed there until the very late age of 31 that I'm right now, where I got sleeping disorders, anxiousness, upset stomach, and I had to take sleeping aid pills to get some proper sleep, but even that didn't help. So I was drinking it almost every day, and with the increased amount of coffee per cup or multiple cups per day, until the small negative effects grew into real health problems. Since the addictive nature of it, I knew that too much of it's not good, and did not really worry about it since I tried to eat plenty of organic fruits and vegetables to combat its acidity and the mineral leaching effect that it has. But it has more effect than those. And learning about them made me quit coffee. And after 60 days of no coffee, I have no reasons or desire to go back drinking coffee at all. Like, no desire, no need, no cravings. My stomach feels better. I have stable energy states. I fall asleep a lot faster. My sleep quality is so much better, and I don't feel so agitated and stressed while performing in overdrive. That's grinding my overall performance and health away. You're not a you're human, not a machine. Alright? Does that make sense? Yes, you're young and strong. That's what I thought at the beginning. But you're not young forever. And you can't try a race in overdrive forever without repairing and without the proper maintenance, right? What the fuck is this? So coffee wears you down and inhibits the normal equilibrium of the body. And this is how it does it in effect and in a cause. Leaches minerals like magnesium and calcium. Calcium and magnesium work together in neurotransmitters, and the lack of them can cause deficiency in the message's ability to get down on the nerve cell's arm, which means that it disrupts your nervous, which means that it disrupts your neurotransmitters. Magnesium is a water-hungry molecule. It pulls water in, just like sea salt gets moist in rainy days. And calcium is pulled into the cell with the help of the vitamin D. So magnesium is needed for proper muscle function, contraction and relaxation of the muscle. Without it, you might have muscle spasms or cramps, just like I did. I had them way too much. Good heart health. It regulates the electrical impulses that control the heartbeats. Without enough magnesium, it may increase the risk of heart rhythm abnormalities. The pounding heart out of the sudden. I had that too. Bone health. It contributes to bone density and strength, and deficiency can lead to weaker bones and increased risk of osteoporosis, which is just a weakening of the bones. And what is calcium needed for? Calcium is needed for also bone strength. It's a primary mineral in bone strength and the density. Without it, your bones may become weak and brittle with the increased risk of fractures and again osteoporosis. Muscle contractions. It's essential for muscle function, including the contraction of heart muscles, and the deficiency of it may lead to muscle weakness and spasms. Blood clotting. Calcium helps prevent excessive bleeding from the wounds or injuries. Nerve signaling. It has a crucial role for nerve impulse transmissions throughout the body, and the deficiency of it can lead to disrupted nerve function and can contribute to nerve-related disorders. I discovered some years ago that my energy levels were so low and thought this could be because of low magnesium. I was like wanting to nap multiple times a day. I couldn't do shit and I couldn't study or be productive. So I read somewhere that magnesium and calcium deficiency occurs when you consume too much coffee or even sweat too much in saunas. So I bought different kinds of magnesium supplements from low grade to high grade, which did help my energy levels to become more stable. Well, and at the end I was just drinking coffee, having my magnesium and my vitamin D afterwards, but the general tiredness and the need for multiple naps on a day, they just came back again after a month or two, even when I got my magnesium up in a high grade, It dehydrates you. In 24-hour period, you lose 2.5 liters of water through kidneys, 1.5, skin, 0.5, your colon, 0.3, and your lungs, 0.2. So, and the one coffee equals like 2 to 5 cups of water for not getting dehydrated, which means when you drink 1 cup of coffee, you have to drink like 2 to 5 cups of water to counter the dehydration effect of it. So, if you're not drinking that much water with the mineral intake and you add in coffee, 1 cup of coffee must be equaled out with 2 to 5 cups of water, you are in water deficiency. You feel it in your stomach, the need to make digestive juices. And your mucosal layer inside your stomach is thinner, and the stomach acid can seep through and damage your stomach lining. Also, the pancreas has difficulties releasing digestive enzymes in the gut for the final breakdown of food. Pancreas also releases hormones like glycogen and insulin into the blood to regulate your blood sugars. So these hormones and enzymes are made with the help of water, and a dehydrated person can develop diabetes and the digestive problems. Also your brain, it's a hydroelectric system, which means no hydro, there is no electricity. And a dehydrated person can suffer from depression, negative thought patterns, and brain cells also shrink that makes the head hurt like a hell. Lungs and in the alveoli where CO2 is changed to O2, where water is also present in the alveoli, and the dehydration causes a person not to breathe out all the CO2 and they're not getting as much oxygen as they need. Also, stomach acid is left unneutralized and it's more acidic when you are dehydrated. And the blood gets sticky and clotted and doesn't pick up enough oxygen because of the lesser surface area that it now has when it's all clotted together. And so might go like, but Rona, you say the coffee dehydrates you, but the overall fluid intake from coffee still can hydrate you. Well, yes, but it's essential to hydrate with adequate water and not only with coffee, juices or sodas. Remember, it's a diuretic and it could potentially lead to dehydration. What it leads you also from water holding minerals and salts like magnesium and calcium. Right? Do you drink enough water to cover the 24-hour period loss of it? Do you consume enough salts and minerals to hold that water in? No, I just remember I was drinking like a liter of water during the day and some of the watery fruits. Since I have more mass, that meant I should be drinking even more water, right? But I never had that much of a need or a desire or a thirst for it. I just when I felt very, very, very thirsty or when my face was almost a dark yellow, then I would drink some water. But yeah, I always felt kind of foggy and not sharp enough. I had like a very strong headache, like 1 to 2 times a month, and generally I just didn't feel good and rather weak and tired and foggy-minded. So, and then I saw a couple of videos about Barbara O'Neill where she talked about the water loss and the dehydrating agents that the coffee has, and just set myself a goal to drink at least 1.5 to 2.5 liters of water every day. And now I definitely feel a lot better. Even if I drink like 1.5 or 2 liters of water in a day, I'm not in a need for like afternoon naps or having like the inabilities to focus because of a tired and foggy brain feeling, and I can perform more because I'm more hydrated. Caffeine sleep deprives you. Caffeine blocks adenosine in adenosine receptors on sleep promoting neurons. That's the hormone that makes you feel sleepy. Okay? This means you disrupt your natural cycle of activity and the need for rest, since caffeine binds up with those receptors in your brain and won't let adenosine to go through. It makes you alert by decreasing the sensitivity of your neurons to those sleep-promoting hormones of adenosine. But the effect only lasts for a couple of hours and the body has produced more receptors and more adenosine for you. And now you have like a flood of sleep signals in your brain that causes you to have an energy crash and the need for sleep and a tiredness for the rest of the day. But you also have adenosine receptors in your heart and in your kidneys to give the organs proper rest when needed. While caffeine keeps them performing in high gear and the heart rate is also increased. While the overuse of coffee might cause headaches, insomnia, jitteriness from the high heart rate. So the adenosine, the sleep hormone, is let high when you don't get enough sleep for 8 to 9 hours. So some quantity of yesterday's adenosine still remains, and you carry the yesterday's need for sleep with you today. And one may even have prolonged sleep deprivation that results in feelings of chronic fatigue. So the REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. When we started to sleep on the ground, it meant that we could totally relax and turn off all the body functions necessary that we previously required to balance ourselves on a tree branch, right? And the fire and the smoke would deter off predators and the insects. Therefore, we started to have more REM sleep. About 20 to 25% of sleep is REM sleep, while it's only 9% on the other primates. REM sleep and the dreaming itself is associated with the better functioning in high degree of social, cultural complexity and the cognitive intelligence. Why? Because REM sleep calibrates and fine-tunes our emotion circuits and may have accelerated the richness and the rational control of our initially primitive emotions that contributed to the rapid rise of our species to dominance on all other species in key ways. In his book Why We Sleep, Dr. Matthew Walker highlights the functions of REM sleep. And the important ones are memory consolidation, helping to integrate newly acquired information with existing knowledge, facilitating learning and memory retention. Emotional regulation, contextualize emotional experiences, reduce emotional intensity of negative memories and promote emotional resilience. Creativity and problem solving. It promotes divergent thinking, allowing to generate innovative solutions to problems. Neurological restoration. Repairs neural circuits, replenishes neurotransmitters, removes metabolic waste products from the brain. Brain development. Supports the maturation of neural pathways and the establishment of synaptic connections. And guess what disrupts it and contributes to negative effects on mental and physical health? Caffeine. Because regular caffeine intake delays REM sleep. And you might go again, but Rona, I heard that coffee helps against dementia and Alzheimer's, so I just need to keep on drinking this, right? Yeah, it might, but it's not a guarantee. And if you take on those other effects over 20 years, when the Alzheimer's may develop, you may end up with even more life-threatening diseases before you even may prevent the actual Alzheimer's and dementia. And the prevention, so does functional stress management. So does cold shock or freezing water or heat shock from sauna. So does fasting or keto or carnivore diet. So does endurance training and climbing strength workouts. So does novel challenges like navigation and learning skills and performing actions. So does spending time in the nature. So does spending time with other people. So does sleeping better. So which one of these you think is the healthiest alternative for helping to prevent dementia and Alzheimer's? I was on a sleeping aid pill since I was always awake for 2 to 3 hours in bed, just trying to fall asleep, but I could not. And 1 to 2 days every month, I did not feel sleep at all. And my mornings were mostly difficult, and I just wanted to keep on sleeping. And if I did, it was 2 to 3 hours more. And after that, my daily schedule was just messed up on that day. So it was plenty of days when my schedule was messed up and I couldn't do something. But I stopped taking a cup of coffee one day. Since I was busy, and at the evening I fell asleep fast and had one of the best sleep in years, and woke up feeling more refreshed. And now I haven't had any sleepless nights. I fall asleep faster, no longer than 30 minutes to 1 hour because of maybe screen time or late night dinner. I wake up with a feeling like, damn, I had a good sleep. I'm not feeling tired. And it's been for the most of the days in the last 60 days, and I think it's pretty great. Delusive energy high. That is quickly followed by the drop of energy levels because of the increased adenosine and its receptors. As we talked before, the energizing effect lasts like 2 to 4 hours, and at the same time, the adenosine hasn't stopped increasing, and also there are more adenosine binding receptors in your brain, which means after 2 to 4 hours, you have even bigger urge for sleep. For for an obvious logical choice, a person chooses to have another cup of coffee or a stronger one, and thus further prolong the need for regenerative sleep or having just 20 to 30-minute nap. And you might go like, but Rona, that's how I work the best. 2 to 4 hours of focused work with the elevated energy from coffee, then I take a little break and maybe do another cup with the productive 2 to 4 hours of work again. My question is, why do you need elevated energy? Are you maybe not sleeping long enough? Are you going to bed late? Are you not doing energizing and free casting belly breathing for 10 minutes every morning? Or many cold showers that would also elevate you if you so much crave that elevating feeling. You know, I'm doing my belly breathing exercise every morning, and I promise you, it works. You feel like you are having laser beam shooting out of your eye, and you're just so bright and so sharp. And you know, after every cup of strong coffee before midday, I would get this energy crash and the low performance with the huge desire to sleep. So I will take a nap or a new cup of coffee and no fresh water whatsoever. So my productivity was at its finest couple of hours after coffee, but then it stayed on the edge of the average or below that. So I could barely do any kind of a reasonable, productive, good work because I was just so tired from fatigue, and I was unwilling to keep forcing myself to perform on school studies, my own projects, or just doing my work. And after no coffee, I'm not hit with the low energy or tiredness anymore. I see that I can work better and for longer, way above average productivity, because I have no reasons or physical desires to skip productive work. Sometimes I just take a nap because since we naturally should do biphasic sleep. I have no complaints on my energy levels. I introduced cold showers recently, and among belly breathing meditation that I've done for more than 5 to 6 months. And I'm feeling just great and awesome. Unwanted changes in the brain cells. Caffeine interferes with the speed and the communications of neurotransmitters. The adenosine levels, that neurotransmitter that acts like the brake in the brain precision balance, it drops. The brakes are failing and body has to do something, and it develops extra receptors on the dendrites of the brain cell to grab every adenosine that comes through. Caffeine affects acetylcholine. It's a neurotransmitter that has to do with the brain function by raising its levels and enhancing the brain function. Yes, your brain works on a higher function, but the brain sees also the imbalance of the transmitter, and it doesn't make that much acetylcholine anymore. And the initial raise corresponds with the drop of it. Also the dopamine. The pursuit of happiness reward hormone is raised by caffeine. Also, the many addictive substances release dopamine. That means you just want more of it, and to grab the next cup, a next cigarette, a next drink, the next drug, just like a porn addiction. But they never find the actual rewards and happiness in the case of coffee. Only the pursuit of it, since it's overused in the case of addiction. Eventually dopamine levels get exhausted through continuous consumption, so you need even more to get the same feeling, and the pursuit of happiness is pretty much not there. And a person is unable to do anything and has lost his willpower, just like I did. It might happen to you as well. Caffeine causes chemical imbalance in brain, and that is the definition of depression. How about that, right? And you might go like, but Rona, everyone needs something that gives him a good mood, warm feeling, and tastes good, right? You need something, right? Well, no, you don't need physical pleasure reaction from a substance to fry out your dopamine pathways because you get tolerant and you need it even more. You rather need a life's purpose that excites you and gives you a sense of fulfillment inside. An eudaimonic happiness where you're growing in life, where you're serving a purpose, where you have mastered your health, where you are independent and getting your well-being, satisfaction and fulfillment, and not needing stimulatory substances to cope with the stress of everyday life and trying to be productive. Remember when you were in a flow state and you did your creative task with great enthusiasm for maybe the entire day, and all the time seemed like a moment that passed so quickly. Maybe it was like playing your favorite game, playing soccer or other sports, or maybe shooting videos and editing and doing the edits. And did you need a coffee to have elevated mood and great experience? Maybe. You could pursue more of eudaimonic happiness and being in a flow state more often. It's like I started with porn, I quit it, but caffeine stayed. My productivity felt like it's in high and lows, and I just could not find the middle ground to keep on rowing, no matter what, to have this consistent, steady work flow to bring to bring better results. My performance in school and on the other was mediocre or below that mostly. And being frustrated since I consider myself relatively healthy, and at the same time I have no power to do necessary and likable work on higher or a needed performance that I want. So now I'm not seeking pleasure or good feelings to do my important work. I don't need stimulants to give me a boost. Since they burn me out, I listen to my body and I give it the fuel it needs to perform without fuel additives so it could run on its normal speed. That has given me stable power, and I derive my fulfillment from learning and completing my projects. It creates an acid condition in the body. Caffeine, along with the sugar, it further acidizes your body by increased production of stomach acid, which disrupts the normal pH levels in the body. So what the high acidity can do to you? It can give you digestive problems. It irritates the stomach lining, leading to heartburn, acid reflux, and the stomach ulcers. Dental health. It can erode tooth enamel, leading to dental issues like cavity and sensitivity. The immune system. It may compromise the immune system's ability to function optimally, making the body more susceptible to infections and illness. And the immune cell's functions are impaired while bacteria and viruses thrive in acidic environment. And you might go like, Rona, I take magnesium and a little bit of calcium supplements, and I eat alkalizing foods to counter the acidity so I can keep on drinking more coffee, right? Right? Can you see the extra cost of money already to be spent on supplements to combat the loss of minerals and acidity because of the couple cups of €2 coffee? Also, supplements are known not to have good absorption all the time, and they may interfere with each other absorption rate when taken together. Also, you're still damaging your stomach lining with coffee intake before or after intake of alkalizing foods. Coffee's acidity can erode tooth enamel regardless of magnesium or calcium supplements. You're still damaging the other parts of the body. The acid environment of coffee can still compromise immune function because of its effects. You have to deal with the damages done by coffee all the time. So you always have to combat the acidity of coffee and heal the injuries from it. Imagine the stress you're giving to your body all the time. So the goal of this was to give you an overview what regular coffee or caffeine containing foods will do to you, as in cause and effect. Did you notice how many negative effects I've mentioned? 18. 18 negative effects on the body for the regular consumption of coffee. That's pretty insane. But I haven't mentioned the positive effects associated with the coffee consumption. And I can give you the alternatives what you can do to get the same effect. So, increased alertness and improved concentration. You can also get that by sufficient sleep every night, belly breathing, meditation, cold showers, regular exercise, consuming nuts, blueberries, high quality fish oil, boosting physical performance and endurance. You can get that by staying hydrated, eating bananas or dates before workouts, and high intensity interval trainings. It can give you enhanced mood and reduced risk of depression. You can also get that by meditating, spending time in nature, having flow state inducing hobbies, eudaimonic happiness pursuing. You're going to get the lower risk of certain diseases like such as Parkinson's and type 2 diabetes. You can also avoid that by maintaining a proper nutrition of fruits, veggies, lean proteins. You should limit processed foods, sugary drinks, and alcohol. You can get protection against liver diseases, including cirrhosis and liver cancer. You can also avoid that by limiting alcohol, maintaining healthy weight, getting a liver supporting foods like leafy greens and citrus fruits. It can give you potential improvement in cognitive function and reduce risk of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Well, like I mentioned before, you can help prevent that by having novel challenges, learning new skills, learn to pilot an aircraft, learn to dance a bachata, learn how to play a musical instrument, socialize, eat brain-healthy foods, and the other things I mentioned. It's a source of antioxidants, which can help fight inflammation and oxidative stress. Do the same by consuming colorful fruits and vegetables that are rich in antioxidants. Incorporate cinnamon and ginger in your meals and have antioxidant-rich juices. It gives a lower risk of certain types of cancer like colorectal and endometrial cancer. You can avoid that also with the help of a healthy weight. Avoid tobacco and alcohol. Have high fiber diets, plenty of fruits and vegetables, nuts, legumes, and spelter grain flour grains. Limit processed and charred foods. It can improve your metabolic rate and have potential aid in weight management. You can get that by smaller meals frequently throughout the day. Cold shower gives you thermogenesis. Have protein-rich foods, healthy fats, and fiber in each meal for satiated and stable blood sugar. And stay hydrated. And lastly, the social aspect of enjoyment associated with the coffee consumption. You can do that by exploring new hobbies, join clubs or groups like learning to dance bachata, business masterminds, go to a gym, train with someone together, or be in with the cult of same thing people, and engage more in social activities. You see, there are more negative benefits for coffee than positive ones. And I didn't even mention the risk of sleeping pills addiction. Hopefully I made you think about your relationship with coffee and given you some motivation to try to do something new with your life. So what should you do next? Introspect and think, do you really need coffee in your life? And if you do, what is the root cause for it? Maybe lack of proper sleep? Why are you having lack of sleep? Fatigue? Why are you fatigued? You want distraction and to elevate your mood? Why? you're having already existing dehydration that also causes fatigue. Why are you dehydrated? Get yourself a gene test for the effects of coffee on you. That consists of the caffeine effect on sleep. I have the average effect. Caffeine metabolizing rate. I have the fast rate. Caffeine sensitivity. I have high sensitivity. And I found that the mother coffee in a high probability won't affect my sleep quality. But it kinda did. And difficulties in falling asleep and waking up through the night was just a constant thing. My metabolizing rate of coffee is fast, which means that the exciting effect of coffee is shorter for me, and likely I need more coffee, and also I have a higher tolerance for large amounts of coffee. That was true. But I have high sensitivity for coffee, which with the increased anxiety-inducing effects, which means my genotype is also associated with the possible increase in blood pressure after large amounts of coffee. That is true. I had like a beating heart and a heavy anxiety always after 3 cups and even after 2 cups of coffee. And getting to know these facts about coffee effects and from my genes in relation to coffee, and while suffering more than I could have benefited from coffee, I decided to quit it and just see how my situation goes. What are the effects? Fell asleep faster than I ever did in my first coffee-free day. No more waking up in the middle of my sleep. I have steady levels of energy, no peaks and no lows. My fatigue has lessened greatly. I started to hydrate, to drink more water with the proper salt consumption with the Himalayan salt, and I feel more at ease with my whole being. No beating heart out of the chest feelings, no muscle cramps, better quality of sleep, less tiredness or not whatsoever, so much less mental stress and anxiety, so much more relaxed and in tune with myself and the environment. I learned to listen to my own body and not needing like any kind of a stimulus like mushroom extracts or caffeine anymore. So to recap this, caffeine leaches minerals like magnesium and calcium needed for proper brain function. It dehydrates you, giving you more of problems and more of fatigue feeling and tiredness. It sleep deprives you and disrupts your crucial REM sleep. It gives you a delusive energy high, which is followed by the huge low state. You are having undesirable changes in your brain cells. It creates the acid condition in the body. So I encourage you to introspect and find out the root cause of your reasons why do you want caffeine or coffee. Try to get a gene test that measures the effect of caffeine on your body. And if you're interested in trying to quit any kind of bad habit, you can click on that top link in the description below, and I'll personally help you with quitting porn, video games, or any other bad habit with a clear recovery plan, and we can do this together. Because I've been there, I got out, and I can help you to get out faster. So stay sharp and stay aware.